Hi guys, it's Ellen, and today I have a new art journal page to share with you. So I had this image from a magazine. I've had this for ages. I can't remember where it was from, but I thought it was really cool. I really liked the colours, so I knew I wanted to use this on my page. So I've just collaged that onto my page, straight onto the page, with some PVA glue, and then I have a few pages left of this vintage comic book. I think it was a Tammy annual from the 70s. I think it's really old, and I really liked all of the images on it and everything, so I thought that would look really cool to collage onto my background. So I'm collaging it around the picture of the lady that I have on there. I'm just leaving a little gap because the outline of the lady is black, and I wanted to just spread that out onto the page so that hopefully the woman looks like she's part of a page rather than just slapped on randomly. So yeah, I'm going to glue all of those comic book images down, and then I'm going to go in with some white gesso and paint that over the comic book pages so they still show through, but it gets rid of that sort of vintage colour, because I didn't want to go vintage with this one. I wanted to use the red and black that is in the image on the right. So I just use one layer of the gesso, and you can see there that you can still see through it, but it just dulls it down a little bit so it looks more like a background piece. Taking my black paint and going around the outline of the lady. I had to do a couple of coats because I'm just using my cheap black paint because it's just an art journal page, so I don't mind using my cheap paint for this, and it just took a couple of coats, but it coated it fine. I also go around the whole page with the black to create a border. I have a scrap piece of a mesh material, and I decided to use it sort of like a sponge, so I wanted the black outline to fade into the middle so it didn't look so harsh, and yeah, that worked really well actually with that just scrap piece of material. And then I wanted texture on the page because so far it's pretty flat, so I've taken my diamond shape stencil and my texture paste and just passed that through in a couple of spots. And I'm going to start colouring the page, and I have a red, I think it's fire brick red, the marmalade orange, and I can't remember what the yellow one is called. They're my Tim Holtz Distress ink pads, and to get that colour onto the page I've just stamped them onto some packaging, sprayed it with water, and then used the packaging technique onto my page. And I'm using these colours because of the lady's dress is red, so I wanted that to be my main colour. I do this a couple of times to get a nice coat, and I also add some splatters, but it's quite subtle. adding just a background stamp. This is from a set I got from AliExpress, and they're actually travel themed, but it didn't really matter to me what the stamp what it was. It just added another bit of interest to the background, and I didn't use a stamping block, I just used it in my hand, so it's much more subtle. I then have the two main parts of my quote, which is demons and rebellion, and I stamped these onto some blue and white striped card because I thought this would contrast well against the red tones. And I went round the edges of them with my ink pad, and then I've got some cheesecloth that I wanted to use behind these two pieces, and it was really, really white, so I decided to use the same distress inks that I used previously and sort of coat them in that colour, just as another added texture. I love adding texture on my art journal pages, and this one is still quite flat for me, so I thought that would add a bit of interest. I've taken a blue metallic pen and I'm just doing some details around the picture of the woman. It also helps to fade in from the magazine cutout to the background, so it hides that sort of line that I got from where I stuck that down. And I've just added some more doodles around the page as well, and then I'm using that same pen to write out the rest of my quote. So it reads, "They told you not to dance with demons, but my love, you wear rebellion so well." And I just liked that, and I thought the image went well because I just thought it went well with the quote, really. So I really don't like my handwriting, and I'm trying to make myself write on my art journal pages so that, I don't know, maybe I could get used to it or get better at doing the style of writing that I want to do. But yeah, I'm making myself do that recently, and yeah, I don't really like it. I wish it was all stamped out, but that also takes such a long time. So the rebellion and demons pieces, I've put some foam tape behind them and stuck the cheesecloth, and then I've added them to the page with some PVA glue. I've taken my white jelly roll pen and I've gone around all of the edges with a messy border. The funny thing I do is I have these Dovecraft pearl drops, and it's just in pearl colour. So I've added some in the corners of the page, I've added some around the magazine image, and I added some randomly on the page as well, and that's my page all finished. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, thank you very much for being here. Bye guys!